This week in news surrounding Israel, the Mothership of Satan is in Tehran. Stay tuned, friends, for all the details. Well, shalom, everyone. Welcome once again to this week's newscast. I'm Robert Gottslig, your host, and I'm sure all of you have had your attention fixed to the situation in Israel as Iran began launching ballistic missiles into Israel last Sunday. Iran stated that the attack was in retaliation for Israel's strike on Hezbollah in Beirut, which it had previously warned would be the consequence of any Israeli attack on Lebanon's capital. Of course, Israel was responding because Hezbollah resumed launching rockets into northern Israel. And Israel also wasted no time in striking key targets in Iran in response to Iran's latest attack on the Jewish state. Then there's the Houthis in Yemen, another one of Iran's proxies, who also got in on the action and launched a couple ballistic missiles into Israel, which thankfully Israel intercepted. But the Houthis are also threatening Israel with a total ban on Israeli shipping in the Red Sea. Well, one thing's for certain, friends, you can be sure Israel's going to respond to that. Israel's ambassador to the U.S. had this to say, as reported by the Times of Israel. He said that Iran fired 11 ballistic missiles at Israel today. Each one of those missiles can level an entire neighborhood and kill hundreds. No self-respecting country in the world would tolerate such an attack, and neither will Israel. Israel is now targeting Iranian surface-to-surface missile launch sites as well as infrastructure facilities unrelated to the energy sector. The people of Lebanon have rejected Iran's proxy Hezbollah and have told Iran to get out of their country. If Hezbollah fires at Israel, its command centers in Dahiya will be hit hard. This has nothing to do with Iran. Everyone has had enough of this maniacal Iranian regime. And U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, had this to say about the situation on X. He said, Iran fired missiles at Israel last night and early today. The missile alerts sounded at 6 a.m. in Jerusalem. They were intercepted, thank God. Iran and its proxy agents of evil want to incinerate America and Israel. Mothership of Satan is in Tehran. Well, President Trump, also evaluating the whole situation, he took to his Truth Social platform, and this is what he said. He said, Israel and Iran must immediately stop shooting. President Donald J. Trump. And so far, friends, as I'm recording this week's newscast, no further strikes in Iran or from Iran has happened. However, Israel still continues battling Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, in which Iran also warned Israel about. So we'll see if Iran's going to respond to that threat. Also, Israel's response to the Houthis is yet to be determined. Now, you may already know the answers to these scenarios as you're watching this a few days later. But so far, all is being quiet at the time of this recording. And all of this is taking place as President Trump continues to inform the world that a peace deal is coming, perhaps even in the next few days. Of course, peace would be great if it were possible, but for those of us who are students of God's Word, friends, we know that lasting peace is only coming when the Prince of Peace, Israel's Messiah, Yeshua, returns. Period. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't be praying and striving for peace in the interim. No, we should be doing that. But trying to make peace with the mothership of Satan, as Ambassador Huckabee put it, well, that's a losing battle. Look, the Iranian regime is not interested in making peace. That doesn't surprise most people. No, they are not, especially students of God's Word. We know that they are not interested in making peace. They are master negotiators, deceivers, stallers, master manipulators, and they are never going to give up their ambitions to destroy Israel, the little Satan, and the U.S., the great Satan. And as I've said it many times on this newscast, friends, this is a spiritual battle. This is about good versus evil. And Satan is alive and well and working in the sons of disobedience as he's working overtime within the Iranian regime. But God. Yes, but God. Because the God of Israel will prevail. And one day, Messiah will crush Satan's head. We read about that in Genesis 3, verse 15. He will crush and destroy Satan forever one day. And in the end, Israel wins because the God of Israel wins. Again, you can be sure of that. And so let's keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem in the current situation unfolding. And in closing, I want to read from Psalm 83, the last two verses, verses 17 and 18. And these are Asaph's final words to Israel's enemies. This is what he says. He said, "Let them be confounded and dismayed forever. Yes, let them be put to shame and perish, that they may know that you, whose name alone is the Lord, are the most high over all the earth." Yes, the God of Israel will prevail and win. He's already winning because he knows the beginning from the end, and he has told us in his word how things are going to play out. Iran is no match for the God of this universe. Not at all. So let's keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. And with that, friends, and until next time, thanks for joining us on another episode of In News Surrounding Israel.